do you guys think about all the pressure that's put on women to monitor their abusers? How much pressure is put on women to track their abusers, to keep records and somehow have all this presence of mind through the fear, through the financial abuse, to somehow find and download applications onto their devices, possibly similar but with an opposite intention to the calendar app that Christopher Watts used. You know, why is there all this pressure on women? Okay, look, if you're in abusive relationship, make sure you download the app, make sure you monitor where he is and what he's saying, keep those records. Don't bother going to the police unless you've got this, because we're not going to do anything. You might have to be killed before we do anything. We'll certainly come and investigate your murder or your disappearance, but everything else is up to you, love. Don't you know you can take karate classes, self-defense? Don't you know you shouldn't be bicycling or walking through trails on your own? Make sure you tie your hair up in a bun so that your ponytail or long hair can't be grabbed. Don't walk like a victim. Stand tall. Look around you. Take note in your environment, who, what, where, how. Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. Don't walk to your car alone. When you're out with your girlfriends, drinking, don't take the back lane. Don't trust the taxi driver. The Uber driver isn't to blame. It's up to you. I mean, these things are just like where you have cultures and countries that say, the women must cover their meat, otherwise it's their own selves to blame when they are raped, which then in turn drives men, because they're not socialising with women, to go and socialise with young boys that they groom, dress into clothing and pay to dance for them and probably fuck them. Look, I'm not saying there's not the education around domestic violence in terms of, let's highlight a few things that abusers do. Isolating you, the cycle of love bombing and abuse, the financial abuse, etc., etc. Okay, so yeah, we're educating, and you might, sometimes see something highlighting to men what's cool or not cool. But, we've got Kids Line, not Lifeline, Kids Line. This is the phone line for children to reach out. Sometimes teachers don't act when they see abuse or starving children. I don't know what they're afraid of. Sometimes they do. But you've got Kids Line, you've got domestic violence lines, and we've got apps that we're supposed to have on our phone. Let's not forget that the abuser is already tracking their property, the car, they're watching the mileage, they're checking the phone bill, looking at the gigabytes. looking at the shopping lists. But no, if you try to make a complaint or a request for service help, etc., to police, what are they going to do? How many times do police get called out, and then when they turn up for the murder they go, yeah, we know this couple really well, we've been here so many times. Too late. But that woman, she should have left. That child should have left. That son should have left. The woman should have put an app, and she should have collected all this evidence, and she should have taken it to the cops and put this guy in jail. Yeah, it's that easy. Well, why do we have this culture where we have to do this? Who's teaching the men? Who's giving them these attitudes? And why is there an epidemic of violence toward women? Now, I do know that there are demographics. I know that people with different sexualities, I do know they are abused. I do know husbands get abused. It's predominantly women who are beaten, raped by their husbands and partners, who are deprived of the necessities of life, who have children with these people. Why are these women having such a hard time being listened to when they go to the cops, or when they go to hospital, or the GP, or a social services department? Why does it take so long for them to get moved into some safe housing? Why are they not able to have their pets with them sometimes? Do you know some women won't leave because they know the pet will get abused or murdered? They can't leave the dog. It happens. It happens. But we are constantly being educated on how to avoid abuse, on how to keep ourselves safe, on how to stay away from attackers, how to fend off attackers, how to use technology that is used against women all the time to control them and abuse them. We are supposed to turn this on the abusers, and it's all up to us. Well, this is a heavy fucking burden, isn't it? No wonder women are feeling just a little bit, anxious and depressed. This is the message. This is the message. The message needs to be from childhood, from birth to adulthood, and everywhere other time, what attitudes are acceptable, what behaviour is acceptable between men and women, and between human to human contact and human to human contact. What's acceptable? How do you deal with conflict? How do you manage your own self-esteem? Because self-esteem is a huge character in this, or the lack thereof. Abusive men aren't feeling powerful and wonderful and, omnipotent in everything in their lives. Abuse breeds abuse. Abuse breeds abuse. People, broken homes are so common, and I know many, don't be offended, it's not to say things can't work out, but this is part of the issue. There are so many broken homes. People are put at risk when they are in homes where there is no blood relation, and I know blood relatives are dangerous too at times, but you'll sometimes have children that are actually no relation to any of the parents living in these homes. There's not only all these complex family structures, but there's a broken foster system and child services system, and men who are abused grow up to be abusers. Women who are abused as children grow up being abused. Both sexes grow up to self-medicate, to live their life sometimes in ways they never would have if things in their childhood didn't occur. And it's such a broken system. And okay, some of these things might be practical and work on occasion, but you try telling someone that is utterly devastated in their life, feeling completely powerless, that the onus is still on them, and that no matter how hard things are right now, even to get through the day, there's more for them to do. They can't just go to someone for support and action. They must find some way to download an app on a phone. That's if they haven't had their phone taken away from them. Or if it's not already tracked, or these women, many women don't have resources. Some of them do, yes, because abuse knows no, there's no border for abuse. Male, female, young, old, rich, poor, black, white. There's no border for abuse. You'll see people drive up in $100,000 convertible cars to use the Orange Sky laundry services because they've lost their house. They're living in the car. Now they can sell that car, but maybe there's a reason why they're hanging on to it, or it's not in their name, I don't know, but I've seen that happen, things like that many times. And you can't judge someone's situation and their resources and their ability to utilize or access resources by how they look, what their station appears to be in life. We have a day in September which is Are You Okay? And it's to ask people. And we do need to ask people, are you okay? You need to notice different behaviours. Is someone keeping themselves to themselves at work when they used to be so gregarious and fun? Do they not eat with you anymore at lunch? Or, what are these changes in behaviour? Are they drinking more than they ever have? Or, whatever it is, ask, are you okay? And then take it further. You need to follow up on that, and you need to let them know it's safe to talk. You don't always know what to do, but you can say, I'm here to help you find the resources that you need. And people need someone taking action in their lives and not telling them that they're just not good enough at somehow getting out of a mortally dangerous situation, not telling them that they're not good enough at somehow squirreling away pennies and then making an escape. They're somehow not good enough at protecting their 5 children or the family pet. That they shouldn't care, about how they're going to live. They should just move out on the street and get raped there. That's what they should do, Yes, we need ideas. We need things to be available. We need services. We need funding. You need housing to be available, but to keep throwing further burden on the shoulders of already burdened women who are freaking amazing, by the way, because they're getting up each day if they can, and they just keep going day after day. They're doing what they can. It just makes me so furious and sick. And I'm pretty sure, there's definitely several sides to things, and I'm not saying all of these ideas are bad, but they are not the solution, because the solution is prevention. It's like drug use in prisons, how, fuck harm reduction. Let's just ignore the problem so that, we don't provide harm reduction, and then people can just have, hepatitis. There's treatments for this now, which is pretty amazing. They can have hepatitis, they can have worse drug problems, they can have organ failure, they can have, ongoing health issues. Why not? Because let's just turn a blind eye. Let's not do harm reduction. Let's just say that there's no drugs in prison. And it's not addressing a real issue and giving real help. And I guess it's just saying to prisoners, use drugs at your peril, or just don't use drugs. Well, women, just don't get abused, because if you don't want to be, if you're going to be abused, well, just make sure that you have the presence of mind all the time to not get caught keeping tabs, to not get caught making notes, to not get caught going anywhere. You know how risky it is for any woman to reach out to someone, and when they're leaving, how dangerous that is, because that's when they're likely to get desperately harmed or murdered. You know what happened here in Australia? You've got people being set on fire in cars alive, and this is children, and a mother watching her children in there with her burning, because guy with a rage problem. Yep. Yeah, and that wasn't going to help that. So, let's think of real solutions to the real problem, and begin in childhood. Begin with stopping the abuse, but in empowering people, taking notice of what's happening to children and how they're acting and behaving. But what about bringing up confident, kind, well-rounded young people who don't feel the need to take their psyche and ego shit out on others? How about we don't make it easy for boys to be raped by priests and scoutmasters and things like that? And how about we don't make it easy for children, their innocence to be taken away, and for them to be irreparably damaged, so that these damaged, harmed children don't grow up to be abusers? How about that? I think that's where the money should be going. I think that's where the intellectual property should be going. And you need to make services and help super visible in the community, super visible. People don't know where to go, and they don't realise the help is there, you know, when there is. And it's just these small little, you know, agencies often who are trying to help. I mean, it's kind of like when there's a national emergency and you've got the Red Cross. What about the government? Why is it up to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army to do certain things, you know? It's nice that they're there. Anywho, that's my rave for the day. What do you guys think? What do you think about women being told, hey, this is how you can protect yourself from an abuser, this is how you can be less of a victim, these are the apps you can download, this is how you can track your abuser, this is. How about when a woman goes to a police officer, their claim is investigated properly from the start, because I know people do shit stir and make false claims, but how about it is investigated immediately from the start and they are given the help they need? That would work. That works for me anyway. See you later. Thanks for listening.